Thank you for checking out this little teaser of the history of the papacy and church. Here's a little taste of what's coming up soon on the History of the Papacy podcast. Now, if you like what you hear, I'd love it if you'd leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice. If you want to support the podcast even more, consider becoming a Patreon on patreon.com/history of the papacy. There are many levels and benefits for you, and you help keep the history of the papacy going. You can learn more about all of this at historyofthepapacypodcast.com. With that, here's another piece of the mosaic of the popes of Rome and Christian church, and I will definitely be talking to you more soon.
Right. Yes, this is a crisis of leadership because ironically, some of the most forgiving people appear to be the confessors. These are people who are in prison still because they had refused to sacrifice. And so if the bishop, and it seems early on that Cyprian is not in a hurry to forgive people at all. So what other option do they have? They go to what they saw as another spiritual authority. And who has more spiritual authority than the confessors? So the confessors, according to the sources, began basically issuing these statements of forgiveness, saying, based on our spiritual authority, we forgive them. And if anybody should not forgive them, it's us. But we are going to say, we forgive you. And so now you have people coming back in saying, look, the confessors have forgiven me and the bishop has not. And so as if you're Cyprian, you're trying to be sensitive to all parties here. But you certainly don't want to be seen. You can't be seen as being against the confessors because you're not against them. But in some ways, they're also challenging your authority and your decisions. And so what Cyprian tries to do is skate a very, very sharp edge between these two sides. His work on unity, he starts off by praising the confessors and the martyrs, and then over the course of time begins laying out his own vision for the way that things should go. But he has to be, in some sense, he's disagreeing with some of them, but he can't be seen as antagonistic to them. He doesn't want to be antagonistic to them, but he wants proper church authority to be maintained. He doesn't want people to be forgiven too quickly and readmitted too quickly.